Dolly mixtures. That's what my friend would jokingly refer to the characters in my games as. Imagine you're a bird looking down at the level. There's their body, and there's their head. Hence, Dolly-Mixture. Yes, I've since moved to isometric viewpoints since it's easier to draw stuff from the side whilst still enjoying the depth of the 3D space that top-down brings about. And to my Dolly-Mixture's credit, some of the later attempts did look pretty tasty. But one of the earlier Dolly-Mixture guys led to something even more beautiful. We were working on something at some point, probably back in 2003, when I went "Ugh!" and spammed a load of Dolly-Mixtures across the screen. I'm not sure why I did that, but I'm very pleased that I did. For the combination of dozens of them, all on top of each other, and moving and rotating at the same time, it looked kind of 3D. This is something that I dabbled with from time to time, making the characters in Doom of the World 2 out of, and later on, these models for Santasatnas. But it didn't ever work too well for characters, who would require additional animating and stuff. A lot easier just to draw people by hand, the old-fashioned way. But for vehicles, which you'd otherwise have to draw from dozens of different angles, yes, this stacked Dolly-Mixture method was perfect. I made a tank that featured in a single level of Doom of the World 3, before I scrapped it because a tank didn't fit into infantry-dominated battlefields too well. And I made this ship for Santasatnas, which worked nicely. Recently, I had the need to make a new, bigger and better 3D boat, and chose to revive the stacked Dolly-Mixture method to do so. And I have to say, it's amazing how well suited it is for 3D models. The downside is that it's a bit of a pain to make. You have to draw each slice of it, keeping a mental note of how high up it is before introducing or removing features of the ship. But within a few hours, I had made this. I stupidly had the sails on the wrong way around, which set me back a bit, but that was my fault. With the ship done, I realised that I could use this same layered method to create a shadow. So I did that. Instead of stacking one pixel on top of the previous one, they now stack one pixel down and to the right, forming a perfect shadow. Already, these 2D sprites are looking pretty darn 3D, aren't they? But the breakthrough came just after. I wanted to add animation. Animating in the normal sense is very difficult with this kind of stacked 2D method, but it turns out, a rocking boat isn't a normal animation. It can be done by moving each layer of the boat a bit more than the one below it. This was the result. I split the boat into different sections, which let me change the colour of the sails to whatever I wanted. I even added a little Darius model here, who uses the colours chosen from the character creation menu. And then, late one night, when I was trying to get to sleep, I realised that I could animate the sails separately to make it look as though they were blowing in the wind. Beautiful. I intend to add a reflection at some point, and I'll mess with the sails that they only blow forwards, not backwards and through the masts. And maybe I'll make it rock depending on how fast you accelerate and steer it. Honestly, the sky's the limit. I hope you can appreciate why I care about this. This boat isn't exactly going to show up in Unreal 4 anytime soon, but for me, it's something I'm proud of. Using a technique I discovered to solve a problem that I had. And while I always knew it was cool, it took an older, more patient Philip to get the most out of it. Drawing each layer was a pain, but to offload the rotations and animation to the computer is a blessing, and I'm left with a delightful little model that works so flawlessly, the average person playing it won't ever realise that they've been shortchanged. They're not steering a ship. They're handling a stack of Dolly mixtures in disguise.